Director Barris, if you would just hear me out.
Absolutely. If you can explain to me why you're headed to South America when Apex Cybernetics is telling us they have a positive hit on Titan X in the Bering Sea.
Because the last time Apex told us they had a positive hit, we chased a blue whale halfway across the Pacific Ocean, so I don't trust Apex.
I don't trust them either. That's why I need eyes on the scene. I can't just call them liars.
A reliable source has confirmed that Apex knows that Titan X is headed to South America.
What source?
A highly respected and confidential informant.
It's Colonel Shaw, isn't it? Damn it, Tim, the world is on a precipice. I got possible Titan sightings popping up all over the globe, and you want me to take a valuable asset off the board based on the word of a fugitive?
No, it's not just Shaw's word. He has evidence, a migratory map from Bill Randa's journals.
Okay, I stand corrected, so I'm supposed to trust a fugitive and a crazy dead man.
Well, Apex does, and they're not sharing that information. Why not?
Hey, Kaiju fans and Podcastica listeners. Welcome to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Dimitri.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full podcast about Monarch Season 2, found on Apple TV Plus, Episode 5, entitled Furusato. So, Dimitri, what is the synopsis for this particular episode?
In Santa Soledad, Titan X becomes a target for Apex, forcing Shaw and the Randas to infiltrate the covert experiment.
Yeah. So a lot's come out and a lot has been leaked out. And obviously we already stated, everybody, this is a spoiler-full podcast. So if you haven't watched the episode, go back, watch it, come back, listen to us. If you like to be spoiled like I do at times, listen to us and keep going. Let's have fun in talking about this. So literally this episode leaves off or starts off where it left off from the last episode, where they're tracing everything to where Billy Randa had perceived the idea of where Titan X was going at that point. And the Randas wound up going there, but truths coming out of Lee and Kay's relationship with Hiroshi, Kate coming back into the fold, typical stuff of Apex infiltrating Monarch, and then their infiltration and what they're doing and how they're going about it. So a lot goes on within this episode that is really cool, but the drama is there for the characters that we know. And you and I both stated it. Without any kaiju movie, there has to be drama within the human characters that are involved within the show or movie. So what did you think about this episode? Did you think it was crucial to what was needed for the story to go on, or was this a filler episode?
It was definitely crucial because we get to see an inkling of Titan X's relationship to humanity.
Okay.
Especially with the scene with Kate.
Okay. I see where you're going there, and I do agree. Because a lot of what we have been hand-fed since Kong Skull Island, they are the matrix of the world. They're literally a catalyst of the world and protectors. Do you think Titan X is one of those protectors, or it's just an antagonist?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like, she isn't going out of her way to, like, protect anything, but she also isn't going out of her way to destroy anything. She has a set route to swim. Okay. She'll pick up her little scarabs at each spot and then go back to Axis Monday. And honestly, I think that's why Godzilla hasn't bothered coming after her.
Yeah,
Sure, it's
yeah.
a couple years too early for her next appearance,
Hmm.
but she's not trying to willingly destroy anything. So I believe he just letting her do what she has to do, and then let her go back when she has to go back.
So basically, nature doing what nature does, and they're
Yes.
part of the whole natural order of the earth, is what you're saying. And I
Yes.
do agree with you. I really think that she is middle ground. And I think that's probably why Godzilla or even Kong, Kong has not even risen, even though he went after Titan X at that one point in the first episode, as we all recall. It's like he was just like, I'm gonna kill, I want to stop, I want to destroy. But Titan X got away, but we don't get the what would you call Godzilla? The savior of the earth,
Eh,
or one of the guardians?
yes.
Guardian is probably best
Yeah.
to really describe who Godzilla is. Same thing with Kong, but Kong is still young,
Hmm.
and they're still learning. And that's the whole point, is that Kong is still exploring themselves. We're at this point of Kong's development where we're in between movies, everybody, and we all have been saying this. So by the time we get the next movie that comes out, probably within the next year,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna see a lot of more progress within Kong in the movie than we do within Monarch. And Monarch is pretty much how Kong pretty much develops
Yeah.
into the hero, and to be who, what his legacy is, which is somebody who is a champion, a guardian. And just like Godzilla, but Godzilla, we've already had that battle, and we've already seen it where Godzilla knocks Kong on his ass and goes, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, and with Kong, he's more of an island guardian base, while Godzilla is essentially the entire world
Earth based.
guardian based. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then it transitioned in Godzilla vs. Kong of him starting to become, I guess one would say, a protector in the Hollow Earth.
Yes. Yeah. And we see more of Godzilla's, like, his purpose within that time too. Kong's purpose too, but also his lineage, because he came from other Kongs. So he didn't know that at that point. He was an orphan. We all know this. If
He
you
was
haven't,
only a couple hours old.
yeah, right. If you think about it, yeah,
Yeah.
technically he is only a couple of hours old in Earth time, in
Especially
comparison to
in
Hollow
especially
Earth.
in the comic Birth of Kong. He
Yeah,
was little. Uh, actually, no, I think he was orphaned like within the first few minutes. Actually,
yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah, it's sad, but he, later on we get to know that he starts to learn his own lineage and take his own throne, take his own axe, and takes pride into what he has. Also gives faith to others too in Hollow Earth, but that is so far ahead at this point, because right now we're concentrating on Monarch.
yeah,
In this case, we get Kintaro's birth in the very beginning of the episode. Hiroshi talking to Kate before Kintaro and singing with her on the phone just before Kintaro was
yeah,
born in Japan at the same time. I thought that was key to the point of the relationship of the children with Hiroshi and his children, both Kate and Kentaro.
Yeah, and I will say the edit of Hiroshi with Kentaro and Emiko,
Mm-hmm.
and then the abrupt cut um to Kate in her bed was diabolical.
Yes, it was. It was really weird to some degree, and in my opinion, but
I think
it shows the
was,
duality of what
yeah.
that Hiroshi was dealing with at that point between Kentaro and Kate, and having those dual lives, and him having two families at the same time, and you could see the strain in his face at that point, and it's really sad. But the thing is, there is love for him, for his children. There
Mhm.
is love for the women that he had these children with, and he is split, very much almost like how his mother was split, which we get to later on when Hiroshi does talk to Kei or Keiko about her relations. And we do get a sad situation at the end of the episode.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we do lose. And actually, we already said it. Spoilers, everybody. It's a spoiler full podcast. Obviously, if you haven't watched it, why are you here? We lose Hiroshi. He dies.
Was I expecting that at all?
I was not expecting that at all either. I thought, Hiroshi will live through this. And mind you, Dimitri, I actually did rewatch Kong Skull Island. I rewatched the first episode of Monarch season 1. We don't really get to see Billy Randa die.
Just gets loops up, and then the skull crawler just catches a fire. So maybe the inside is fire resistant. Who knows?
Who knows? But the thing is that what if, like a comic book, a Marvel comic, let's just say, what if Billy Randa was alive and is still alive and in Hollow Earth?
God, that would be the plot twist of the century. Just pull a Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to. And if Apple TV Plus is watching or listening at this point, please make it happen. I would love to see John Goodman come back and be face to face with Kurt Russell and say, "You took my woman." Oh my god. And Kay's gonna be there young as day, and she'll be like, you guys need to stop. You're gonna give yourselves a heart attack.
Well, he's like, have you looked at her? I mean, you wouldn't fall in love with her.
Both of them would have a heart attack at that point.
Yeah, and then Bill Paul's like, point taken, but you could have at least talked to me first.
Exactly right. Yeah. I would love to have seen that. To me, honestly, I do love the idea of all these what ifs and everything, because anything is possible at this point, because you have time rifts, you have all this stuff going with Hollow Earth and everything else. What if that's a possibility that could be written in? Mind you, is this fanboy writing at its best? Probably. But if you put it out there, guess what? Some people will listen and they might put it in there. Right out to Apple TV Plus. Anyhow, so we get into this whole thing about Hiroshi is mad at his mother, years of betrayal from her, then Billy's abandonment of Hiroshi, then Kay's talk about her thoughts about Billy and how Billy loved Hiroshi. Hiroshi still can't trust her or what Billy did to him, and leaving him with her mother's her parents
Yeah.
at that time when he was younger. There's a little bit of a hypocrisy about that situation, though. There,
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm like, dude, you did the exact same thing. Why are you mad at her, at your mom
exactly.
for?
The only difference is that Hiroshi still was in each of those kids' lives,
Yeah.
whereas Kay kind of just, well, she got swallowed into Hollow Earth and was gone for years and couldn't explain herself, Hiroshi had two families. It's fine, but Kay had two loves, if you think about it. But she tried to end it before she had disappeared within a letter, and unfortunately all that unfolds within last episode and at the end of the previous episode before that, and then now it's the consequences of that. And we get this like really interesting conversation between Hiroshi and Kay in this episode, which is very crucial to their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks that at the very end she's holding Hiroshi at his deathbed at that point.
Yeah, then Hiroshi is just has been throwing realization after realization, because after the whole thing with his mom, then they get to the little Monarch shack where it's revealed that Billy used to be there.
Yeah.
Waiting for Titan X to come back, and then within it, there's a child's drawing of, I believe, Godzilla, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And it was Hiroshi's drawing, which really shows that if he went back during the time where after he put Hiroshi with Keiko's mother, it shows that he still has a piece of Hiroshi with him.
Correct. Yeah. It showed that Billy did care, and that's the whole thing. A lot of people are like, and it's on message boards, it's on Facebook pages, Instagram. Did Billy really care for Hiroshi? Yeah, he did. He raised that kid. Even though he wasn't his real father, he played father to this kid. I think when he read that letter, it was one of those of, well, wow, she loved Lee more as well as me. I can't care for him at this point because Billy being Billy, he was more determined to be focused on his work.
Yeah.
And he felt more comfortable for the fact that, maybe Hiroshi would be better with his grandparents at that point. And Hiroshi doesn't see it that way. Hiroshi feels like he was abandoned. Like, his formidable years were with Billy and Kay at that point. And then he gets dropped off at his grandparents and he feels abandoned throughout the years. He seeks out love. He seeks out a family of his own, finds a family, like makes a family for himself. And then he makes another family for himself. And he was chasing everything that he can, but very much like his mother, he's susceptible to being in love with two women.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he loved Kate's mom just the way he did with Kintaro's, but the thing is that he was with Kate first, Kate's mom's first. Why do I flip? Anyhow, so basically he was with Kate's mom's first. So, and then later on, while working for Monarch, he winds up developing, this relationship with Kintaro's mom. And he had something that he could connect with very much like how Keiko was with Billy. They connected. Whereas I think with Kate's mom, it was more romantic
Yeah.
in a sense of like getting to know each other and feeling for one another. But he was so far away because that was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And whereas he was stationed in Japan and then he was with Kentara's mom, and it was more closer to what he knew growing up. I might be going a little bit too far into it, everybody, but you have to think about the character and how they were interacting and how they work. Like I said, unfortunately, we lose Hiroshi at this point, but we do get a key dialogue between Lee and Hiroshi talking about the situation.
Yeah.
Lee stating that Hiro got his mother back, stating that he is being a little too hasty with the hate. And Lee pointing out that the obvious that she did what she had to done and fell in love with two people at the same time. But in Kay's case, she ended it with Lee and wrote a note about it and talked about her faults. She loved her men, but Hiroshi led two lives and had two children.
Yeah.
And that's the only difference between that.
Mm-hmm.
But he owned up to it and reconnected with both children at that point, which how often do you do that? How often does that happen? It's like a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the current circumstances that they're going through.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that, was there anything else that you could add that you liked about this, or key sequences that you enjoyed?
Definitely the piercing with Kate and X, because it makes me it makes me feel like we're getting
more Mickey Sagusa.
Yeah, just without the natural psychic abilities.
It's just like inherent. It just shows, and it's nothing. It's very subtle, but into the sense of like subtlety is like she's standing right there and is able to feel it, but you see it. And the way they do this in Apple TV Plus or Legendary at this point, they make it very obvious. Wherein, if you watch the older Toho series with Mickey, we keep referencing Mickey Sagusa. That was the Heisei series of Godzilla back in the 90s. Something that I love and hold dear. And if you guys see my Facebook page picture, it is me and Kenpachira Satsuma. And yeah, it's a cool picture. I got to meet him so many times and I love it. And I'm so glad because the man passed away. But those were movies that I loved for the fact that we got a really great suit actor. We got great suits of Godzilla back in the day when they did suit acting. And I just loved that series altogether. You know, I love that more than the original series that we got. You know, back in like the 50s all the way up into the 70s. But when it came from like the 80s all the way into the 90s, all the way to the early 2000s, right before Satsuma left, I loved that series.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Mickey Seg, is it Nikki or Mickey?
Mickey.
Mickey. Okay, I thought so. And it's Mickey Sagusa, and she has like a telepathic link to Godzilla in those films. So the way the Monarch show is portraying this is that Kate has some sort of psychic link with Titans at this point.
Yeah, and when Axe got hurt, she also gets hurt. And I'm hoping that this sort of means that Axe will be spared and is just chucked back into Axis Monday, and that Kate will become sort of the Eileen Andrews for Titan X.
Yeah, somebody who guides Titan X to go back to
Yeah.
Hollow Earth. And I really hope that happens at the very end of the season, so that way it goes back to where it belongs.
Yeah.
And stays there a little bit. I know that we're going to get two Titans that are going to be very upset with the whole situation. That one being of Kong, the other being our lovely. And we're going to get that probably towards the end of the episode. So sorry, everybody, if I used the Heisei version of Godzilla's Roar, but I prefer that, and so does Dimitri.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we get the.
I won't lie. That is a great like sort of realistic sounding war because of the hissing quality
Yes.
that lizards usually have being placed in this roar.
Yeah, then the rumbling at the very end is very reminiscent. Now, mind you, everybody, the way they created the original Godzilla voice, and if you want to hear it, here it is. This is the original 1954 version, and I use this a lot, but I like doing this on the show because I can, and I like doing it. This is the original 1954 version of what Godzilla sounded like. We're going to let it ride through, but it was used by taking a upright bass, taking a rubber glove on a hand, and detuning the strings up and down as the glove was riding the strings on that upright bass, and then slowing and speeding up the tape as they recorded the sound. So keep that in mind. So this is where like things happen within movie history and movie, like, you know, the way they were able to do it in the 90s was a little bit different, a little bit stranger. But with current modern day, we get the newer version of Godzilla's Roar with Legendary, but this is the original. So you could actually literally hear how they're detuning and tuning up. And I like that aspect. And I'm a bass player, everybody. I've been playing bass guitar since I was 16. But the fact that they actually do that, and I tried that too at my niece's upright bass when she was in high school. It's pretty funny. She started laughing at me when I started doing that. But yeah, it's the roar itself makes a lot of difference, and I'm liking how they're creating specific roars for certain titans within Monarch as well as in Legendary. So I'm glad that they're creating, like, I will get more samples of Titan X's roar because I'm sure they're going to be out there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I'll get them and I'll utilize them next episode. But also I'm looking forward to seeing what we get with the next episodes. Right now we're at episode 5. So we have how many more, Dimitri?
5 more to go.
5 more to go. So there's a lot more impactful. This would probably be more of a subtle end or mid-section of the show. And then it ramps up towards the end. I would give it the last 3 episodes where it gets to the point of like, oh my God, here we go. So 7, maybe 8, 9, and 10. So 6 and 7 might be more of a slow build to get where we're at, where we're going to get maybe the big G. We'll maybe get Kong. So we look forward to that. But unfortunately, with this particular episode, we had some sadness and we lost Hiroshi. I loved Kate and Kentaro's talk about their father, about their relation to their father while they walk on the island. Lee and Kay have a talk about the letter. What did you think about that?
Why'd you keep it?
Yeah, I know.
It's the only thing that I had of your handwriting. Why else? But no, I think it's definitely a whether y'all like it, y'all hate it, it was
Yeah.
a conversation that needed to be done.
It needed to happen. That's the whole thing. Because what, they're not going to acknowledge it? They're just going to keep walking? No, it had to happen. That conversation had to happen. Why did you keep the letter? Why did you do that? Well, she didn't realize that he was trapped in Axis Monday, just like she was for a while he was trying to look for her. And that's when Bill found it at that time.
Yeah.
And he left it for her, but apparently she was long gone. He had been long gone. And then Billy was stuck with Hiroshi at a certain age and raising him, and then realizing and he's still doing this research and everything else. And then he reads it, and at this point, he's at that point where it's like, I think he realized that either Kay was stuck in Axis Monday and had to go find her himself. And I think that is why he went to Kong Skull Island at that point. Think about it.
Yeah, he did full-heartedly supported Brooks's research on the Hollow Earth, and he at this point he knows about the portal points.
Mhm.
So he probably figured that letter sort of yes, it sort of broke him kind of, but also made him more determined to continue on their research.
Yeah.
And knowing that because it's a portal, that probably was what happened to Kay, because I think that was we see a hit of a portal in episode 1, season 1. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. If not, then at least he would be trying to get to Lee at least.
I was thinking originally more for Kay itself. I think he never gave up on that idea.
Yeah.
I think just like with Lee was obsessed with the idea of getting Kay back, I think that is what Billy had originally had thought of when he went to Kong Skull Island, thinking that there were these portals. But unfortunately, he encountered Kong, and
I'm going off of like him, like I said, I'm not sure if if he saw like the portal open with Kay, or he just believed that the whatever they were, but random bugs, did kill her, and they know about the portals in the believe 61, and that's why Lee decided to go down there. And in all honesty, I can see Lee when he went down there realized, hey, if there was a portal here, then maybe Keiko is still alive. And with Lee, like I said, I'm not sure if we saw like if Bill saw like a hint of the portal in whenever they lost Kay.
Mhm.
So for me, I think it was more even with the letter, I like to think he still has a the brotherhood with Lee.
Yes, yeah. I think that's the reason why he didn't have any hatred towards Lee
Yeah,
directly. I think he realized it's like, okay, we both love the same woman. This is how it is. Lee continued his efforts of trying to find Kay, whereas Billy continued his efforts of trying to figure out all these things
yeah,
and maybe the possibility of Kay being alive.
yeah.
And I think that's where with the whole thing with Kong Skull Island. So my little homework for you guys as listeners, go watch Kong Skull Island again. Do it. Look at John Goodman and his reactions and his emotions of while he is emoting while he's giving the dialogue. Where is his intentions are? Let
Yeah.
us know.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's a key point, as well as the first episode when you see him in the very beginning when his apology to Hiroshi, literally that's what it is.
Yeah.
When he's on video and throwing out that satchel and it gets washed up ashore and it's taken, and then Hiroshi winds up getting that satchel later on.
Yeah, and knowing the context of Billy's past now,
Mhm.
and then putting it to Skull Island really puts in perspective of just him. Let's say everything we said about him going to Skull Island to find out if there's a way to bring back Keiko and Lee is let's just like throw it in like headcanon territory. It still puts into his perspective of him wanting to continue his, Lee's, and Keiko's work
Yes.
and try to, and since Skull Island is like the quote unquote epicenter of all things Titans and superfauna, like with the skewer buffalo, the skull crawlers, and all that, that would be the pink. The um the peak place to really research that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a lot more homework, everybody.
Yeah, and that would also be able to continue their motto, the Monarch motto,
and the Apex motto.
unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's oh wow, it kind of reminds me of what is it in Jurassic Park? You got InGen and you got
Biosyn.
So you got two adversaries of trying to go for the same thing, but one for one reason, one for the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of there's a very much a parallel for both worlds right there. We kind of mentioned it before, especially with the last episode. We were kind of talking about the how it's compared to both when it comes to the films and how it's being portrayed. But it does work as far as story and plot and everything else. It engages us. Now, mind you, with Jurassic World, who knows what we're gonna get next?
Oh yeah.
But right now we have Monarch, and
Yes.
that's the cool thing. The one thing that I do, and speaking of Apex, we got Jason, and who's the head of Apex, talking about how people will show up, the issues that will rise if they do show, meaning the Titans at this point. So they have an ulterior motive. We all know this. They're looking to control these Titans. That is why they were tracing Titan X. They want to put something on it to control it. We mentioned it before with I'm forgetting her name, but she was in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and she
Emma.
There you go. Yeah. Give it to Dimitri to bring up the right name when I'm thinking about it. So yeah, she winds up like coming up with this sonar based way of controlling the Titans and calling them and controlling them to some degree. This is what Apex is looking to do. We also mentioned about how Hiroshi's his experimental device that they lost to Apex, and it looked almost like Mechagodzilla's eye from Godzilla versus Kong.
We're getting so many threads for future events in the timeline.
Yeah.
I love it, and hey, we get to see Branda talk to Walter on the phone.
Yes, it's pretty cool. I love Tim's continual devotion to Monarch and to the Randas and everybody else that he has been affiliated with. I want to see more of Tim.
Same, because he's like the modern version or the modern generation of what Keiko, Lee, and Bill sort of like stood for in the 50s.
Yeah, the origination of Monarch. Yeah.
Yeah, and how the first thing is always to try and learn, and then from that learning, try and come up with things to protect others. And I think with how Monarch is 2014 onward, it became more of let's just research things just to research them and not think about putting what they learned into a way to defend cities, like for example, Behemoth. Behemoth has been canonically like one of the benevolent titans, and in the comic Godzilla, no wait, Monarch Declassified or so like that. It's one of the new ones.
Oh, okay.
After his fight with a new whoever it was in Dominion, he lost a tusk, and pretty much there was I think like nearby tribes or whatnot. I'm trying to remember. I think they sort of like made like a sort of like a monument out of it.
Out of the tusk itself.
I believe I remember it was like set. It was like set it straight up like Behemoth was resting his tusks on the ground, like
Oh,
if he
he's
was
like laying
sitting
back and his tusks were laying up. Okay.
And but it was a broken tusk, so no Behemoth attached. But
Yeah, unfortunately.
to like show like appreciation to Behemoth, more or less.
Yeah, respect.
And
yeah.
that would tell Monarch to, like, you know what? Best defense, leaving him alone.
Yeah, literally. Well, for those of you who don't know what Dimitri was talking about, in Kong Skull Island, we got to see Behemoth, I think, right?
King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters. That was the one that he was like a cross between an elephant and a gorilla.
And Sloth, because he walked like how sloths.
He had the front arms of like a gorilla.
Yeah.
Right? And then he had the tusks.
Yeah, and I guess a tiny trunk.
Yes, he had a trunk. That's why I call him like.
Yeah, it was very tiny. I guess to differentiate him from the concept art, which he's just a mammoth with overgrown tusks in the
Yeah,
concept
literally.
art.
Yeah, literally. Almost like think of Man-Thing back in Marvel Comics, but with gorilla arms and hunched over on fours, but the arms in front were more like gorilla based, and it would walk, and then he had tusks coming out that were curled up, almost like a mammoth.
Yeah, I always prefer the design we got more than the he's just a giant mammoth. Yay.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But
So
I would like to have seen more of that particular character. Honestly, we didn't get
same.
much. All we got was a brief glimpse of that character, and I really want to see more. There's more Titans that were kind of glossed over throughout
Mhm.
Legendary that we didn't get too much documentation. I really am looking forward to more of that. I'm hoping Monarch could actually spread that out and give that more
Yeah, I would love
before the
to
movies, you know.
I would love to have like uh another Monarch show where it's just like anthologies of post King of the Monsters world, because my favorite thing has always been how does kaiju, or titans in this case,
Mhm.
affect the world? Which ones do they have to look out for? Which ones can they just walk off to and climb on them?
Or yeah, how they
Yeah,
affect the environment, because
yeah.
according to the lore is that they affect the environment that
Hmm.
regards to the earth, whether it be plant life, water
Yeah,
life, oxygen based, earth based, and core based. And they really need to go into that a little bit more. If they could actually have that as some sort of scientific analytical view of these
yeah,
titans that they have on file, and do a certain it doesn't have to be that long, could be about 2 or 3, maybe 2 minutes segment per beast or
hmm,
titan, and then just give us that, so that way we see what their purpose is, how they are, how they affect the world, what could they do to affect the world in a negative way as well as in a positive
yeah.
way. And that's the whole thing. We haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't think the humans have evolved yet to that point where,
Nope.
whether it be Monarch or Apex, figuring this out. Monarch would probably be more best at it than
Yeah,
Apex, because Apex is more, they're more into trying to develop more tools or utilizing the Titans for their own needs, whereas Monarch wants to observe, protect, and work in relation with these Titans. And I think a lot of people are losing that mindset within the show itself because they're not sure who to trust.
yeah.
And the idea, and honestly, listeners, the overall idea is we want to trust Monarch, the true Monarch that came out with Billy Randa, Lee Shaw, and Keiko had started. And that's what Tim is trying to capture and create and keep and continue. But he's still dealing with the logistics of politics and everything within a corporation. But they're also lending their efforts to Apex, who is think of G.I. Joe working with Cobra. That's all I could think of. And just to, for those Gen Xers that love G.I. Joe like I did back in the 80s, the early 80s, I grew up on that. But that's my feeling of it. It's like Apex is coming off as they're really good people, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're they're tyrant, and they're trying to take control. So you want to root for the home team, which it
Mhm.
would be in our case Monarch. And we are following more of, guess what, Monarch. We're not really following Cliff Curtis and all these guys from Apex. We're not going into that. So they want you, but they're utilizing Apex as the evil forces or the evil doers, as it were. And just keep your eyes open and keep your mind open to that and that thought. That's the only thing I could tell you from a viewer, somebody who's been watching, somebody who loves kaiju films like both Dimitri and myself and have been growing up on this stuff for years. We just know it. It's inherent. It's like, those are the bad guys. These are the good guys. Yeah. But all right. We do get a moment where Bill's notes at the outpost in case seeing his work. So apparently he was there, and she sees the artwork from Hiroshi there at that point too. He was with Billy at that point, and Lee comforting her at a certain point, and then Kay talking to Hiroshi about the letter. We get to that point within that interaction, and she tells him that she loves his father with all her heart. She wanted them to be a family. And then Hiroshi telling her about the truth about how he felt, his anger, and it tearing his family apart. He always thought that he never felt Billy loved him like he was his own flesh and blood. But yet Billy did love and cared for Hiroshi. Kay even knew that, even afterwards. That is why Billy kept that artwork at that station, and why. And that was far after he left Hiroshi with Kay's parents at that point. And then we get that moving moment where mother and son come into grips of what had happened years ago. She wanted to be there, telling him how she felt when it all happened, when she left. She did not want to abandon him at all. And she had all these fears and everything else. And that's the reason why she left the letter to Lee, because she wanted to love Billy and have a life with Billy and have a family between Billy, her, and Hiroshi. And she felt guilty all that time, even in Hollow Earth, about her relationship with Lee. And, there were regrets. Those were hard for her. Hiroshi knowing his mistakes and owning up to them, of having a dual life. It's like him spilling the beans to his mom, who looks 30 years younger than he is. And, and owning up to them and understanding that he had to do so. Then we get a flashback of when Tim found the Skull Island bag of Billy Randa's. I thought that was key and really crucial, because he calls Hiroshi at the time that Kentaro is being born. Was it Kentaro or Kate?
No, I think it was... No, wait. It was after, because
Kate was older at this point.
Yeah,
yes.
Kentaro was born in 90, and then they found Randa's bag in 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, but there was a point where Tim calls Hiroshi regarding it.
Yeah, the 2014/15. I think it was 2014. Yeah, he called. That's when he called Hiroshi.
Yes.
To tell her about the bag. So
because he had flowers in his hand and he was at the hospital.
No, he was going to the apartment he shared with Emiko.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, even I get lost at times, everybody. But yeah, it was at that point where it's like, it's like bad timing. And Hiroshi had that look on his face too when he gets the phone call, like, what?
I just realized that technically, Hiroshi is the second main character that, well, in his case, was more focused on Emiko Kentaro and his work, and then we have Cesare only focusing on his work and just sort of,
and then dying because of it.
Yeah, and then leaving Ren to to sort of be because in the novelization of Godzilla versus Kong, Ren is like a broody.
Yeah.
That love the stupid lizard more than me.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And he's like, yes, you are. Yes, Godzilla, or should I call you my brother?
Yeah, exactly, right. I'm
Really
gonna be married
much?
to a lizard, everybody. Uh,
So we have two Japanese fellas who are like it that way. What is up with that?
I love the fact that we get Titan X coming in for Monarch on sonar at that point. They're tracing him at the same point as they used to do with their old technology, not Apexes at this point. Then it makes contact and they are tracking it where it has been tracked before, literally through Billy Randa's map. And Apex in the line of fire of Titan X on the land. And they are set for like basically total devastation at that point.
Oh yeah.
But we get Kate and her Mickey Sagusa, similar activity to interact with Titan X. What did you think about that?
It was probably one of the best. For me, it was on par with the scene from 1991's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah with Shindo and Godzilla scene.
Okay.
Obviously, different context because Shindo was watching the Empire. He grew to to the mutated dinosaur that saved him and his platoon.
God, that whole story.
And that he probably felt like he damned Godzilla a second time, which technically he did, but he did not know that. And they're like, you know what? Kill me, I am ready. Meanwhile, with Cade, it was just sort of that, sort of like connecting with X, and X was completely like calm. Her bioluminescence were
they were bright.
Yeah,
they were bright. They were coming out.
Yeah,
but they weren't in anger motion towards her. They literally were just reacting. Kate's, like you stated, literally Kate was there, embracing her power, connecting with the Titan, standing in front of it where everybody else is like, you're gonna die. And it's like, oh no. And then there is Titan X, and literally that half moment of the psychic link, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And she's able to divert Titan X to that point, if you think about it.
Yeah, I think if Apex didn't try to do that crap in that moment, I think this could be completely wrong. It could be just X hypnotizing her to eat her. Who knows? I personally don't believe that, but maybe we'll figure out in the later episode. But anyways, I truly believe that if Axe didn't pull that crap, she wouldn't turn violent at all. She would probably continue the connection for however long before turning around and leaving.
Yeah, I think it got cut off too briefly too, myself. She should have been locked in and did something, but unfortunately, due to what Titan X did at that point, and Hiroshi trying to save his own daughter with certain situation, he put himself in danger, and at that point, he hurt himself drastically. And at that point, we get this whole scene with Keiko, Kate in front of him, Lee in the background, as well as Kentaro, seeing that Hiroshi is dying.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
then Keiko started to sing the song, followed by her a
Kate
struggling.
actually Kate
Yeah,
actually reminisces about it herself and cues into it too, because it
yeah.
was something that we know through flashbacks that Hiroshi sang to Kate, and it's a family thing. And I think Kintaro felt the same way too,
Mhm.
because it looked to me like it was familiar to him as well. And I thought, well, this is bringing everything through, but then we lose Hiroshi at this
Yeah.
point, and it's really sad. It's really sad when you lose a character that, for the longest time, for the first two seasons, like literally the whole first season, it was them trying to find Hiroshi. They finally get Hiroshi, and by episode 5, we lose him in season 2.
Yeah, it's I might not, he's probably not my favorite character, far from it.
He was
But
needed. He was the
yeah,
Sarazawa that we needed for the show, I think.
yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, and um, well, like I said, he, I might not really like him because uh of the of
His
having like double
infidelity?
like yeah. I mean, like I said, understanding why doesn't mean condone, so I don't really, but I can still feel sad for like Kate and Katago that they're losing a father figure that
Yeah.
and a father that they and the only one that they have.
Hmm. Interesting. And we kind of leave it off where you can see Lee in the background. He's heartbroken just the same too, because
Yeah.
literally it was like his adoptive like nephew.
Hmm.
If you think about it, it's
Yeah.
family. It's still family to him, and he was heartbroken. So, and then at the very tail end of the episode, we finally see Cliff Curtis's character Jason, and he's leaving. The Apex leaders leaving, and then Kintaro and Tim seeing Hiroshi dead in Kei's arms. That's where they literally leave us off with. It's heartfelt, very hard. I'm sure it's gonna take off where it left off this episode, next
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, that's why we have the show going on for like almost 10 episodes. So
Hmm.
I don't have any needle drops, any music that came in, because there wasn't really much of anything, just typical music that you get, which is always so good. And
Oh yeah. I
yeah,
love the opening so much. And then the rendition they do of the opening
mm,
within the episodes is just great.
yeah. I don't have any quotes to per se. Do you have any, Dimitri?
No.
We don't have any kaiju news, but I did show Dimitri my popcorn bucket, and there's a Toho 71st anniversary edition from Alamo Draft House. If you want, I'll post it on the Facebook page, everybody, if you ask for it. It's a popcorn bucket. It's about maybe 14 inches tall. The jaw opens up so you can put popcorn in Godzilla's mouth and you could eat straight from it. It's the Toho version, not the legendary version, everybody. So I kind of equate it between the Heisei version and the early version of Godzilla from
Yeah.
54 all the way to the 70s.
I think I I can probably tell you in a minute. Godzilla
But yeah,
popcorn.
I had pre-ordered it and it's sold out. You might be able to get more when they do come in, more so. So
Yeah,
I
hopefully.
would, yeah, I would highly recommend it. Go out there and have fun. And order it. I bought it at, I think I put a deposit of $38 at the time, and it rushed up to like almost $50.
Oh yeah, and I believe it might be mid 60s. Godzilla head design. If I had to
Yeah,
guess.
I think you're right. Yeah, the head design. It's Toho based, everybody.
Yeah.
So if you want, go to the Alamo Draft House, look up popcorn buckets, look up Godzilla. You'll be able to find it. It'll say probably sold out, but I'm sure they're gonna get more in. And you could buy and like order more when they come available. Try to do so. I highly recommend it. I have mine. I was just ahead of the curve when I saw that posted, and I said, I need this. So I got it. I kept the box too. So I love keeping the boxes of like certain things like
Yeah.
that.
Now if they made an 84 one, I'm way too obsessed with 84. I'm sorry, everyone.
I know you are, dude. I'm not saying 84 wasn't a bad movie. I always loved it. It was something to follow.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Dr. Pepper ads that they had in
Oh,
84? Or
I've
did you
seen
ever
that
see
on
them?
YouTube a lot. Yeah, seen that.
All right. All right. Yeah, they are interesting and it's so funny to watch nowadays, but back then I was a kid in 84, so or 85, and they played them before the movie came out on TV. I remember those ads like crazy. But yeah, with the popcorn bucket, do that. Go out there. We have Godzilla destroys the Marvel, universe and trade paperback. You could get that. Godzilla, wow, goes to hell. That's another one.
Oh yeah. I love
That's
that one.
so you could check that out. Those are available. Go to your Amazon website, purchase those trades. Do so because they're amazing. Watch the Netflix show with the animated version of the biggest Godzilla known to man. Check those out. Check all the other Toho stuff that's out there. It's available out there. Even if you go to Pluto TV, Tubi has them streaming as well for the classics. So do so there. But that's about it as far as like recommendations for Godzilla or anything kaiju. King Kong Lives actually was it showed up on Prime Video recently for me, and I was like, whoa, that's another one with Linda Hamilton of all things.
Yeah. When I watched that, it was randomly. The whole thing was. There was a time where a lot of kaiju films were randomly uploaded full on YouTube. That's probably
Mhm.
not on there anymore. But I remember seeing that watching that like a while ago. I'm like, is that Sarah Connor?
Yep, it is. Yep. She was in there too. I actually talked to her about that too when I met her.
Oh,
Yeah, it was funny. I got to meet Linda Hamilton. The only thing I got autographed from her that I thought was really cool, other than T2 stuff, was the original Terminator, and it was the Polaroid shot of her in the
Oh.
Jeep that the kid took. And they have that as an 8x10. So she signed that for me. But she could be seen in other shows and movies out there now. So just look her up, and you can look up on her IMDb. She's going to be showing up a lot more lately.
Yeah, I've been
Uh,
noticing that.
yeah. Resident Alien, she is a huge part of that show. Check that out. Not to, give
I think
people promotion, but
I think she was also in the final
Stranger Things.
yeah, final season of
Yes.
Stranger Things.
Yes, she was in the final season.
Oh.
Yeah, she's doing more content. She's letting her age be there. She goes, I'm not doing cosmetic surgery, what like everybody else usually does.
Yeah, good
She-
for her.
Yeah, it is. And I really do appreciate that. She's letting herself age, and it's fine. And by the way, everybody, she is a twin, an identical twin. So keep that in mind if you ever watch T2, because her sisters does show up in the same scene with her.
Yep.
So little cool facts and tidbits.
And
All
we'll
right.
let you know, and we'll let you guys guess where it is.
Yeah, exactly right. All right. Well, that kind of sums up and ends our thoughts for our coverage for this particular episode of Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2, Furusato, Episode 5. So, right now, well, where can listeners hear you, Dimitri?
You can hear me on one of my personal channels, Godzilla Kyru, where I usually do kaiju movie reviews, unboxing, and creative stuff, such as my Kaiju Rambles podcast, which the next episode will be this Saturday, and it will be about kaiju creativity, where me, a few others, and even some of the viewers, if they want to, can showcase their kaiju art, kaiju story, kaiju anything creative.
Awesome.
And you guys can also find me on Twitter, same name but different which is Kaiju Guy 95, I believe. I'm also on Instagram under Godzilla Kyru, Blue Sky under Godzilla Kyru, and TikTok under Godzilla Kyru.
Awesome. Well, obviously, I could be heard here on the Kaiju Cast Podcast, as always. You could hear me on Panels to Pixels podcast with my friend Steve Brown. Right now, we're covering Daredevil Born Again, and that came out on Disney Plus. So we're covering that. We should be coming on to episodes 2 and 3, which is going to be a double episode because obviously with the Easter weekend, we're going to be doing it just after that. And we'll be covering those 2 particular episodes back to back, which from what I'm told from friends who have screeners, it ramps up and it's great. So check us out and you'll hear everything else that we're going to be covering beyond that as well. We could be heard on the Sandman Cast, considering that this is a collaborative podcast with Podcastica and Pyrocore Entertainment. And I did Sandman Cast with my friend Jamie Dimmick, and we will be back once Good Omens 3 comes back on. And we'll be doing more with that under the Sandman Cast title. I'll be talking with Jason. We're going to do a collaborative. I'm pretty sure of it. So just keep your ears and your eyes posted for when it comes out. You could hear me also on the Adrenaline Cinema podcast. As always, by the time you get this, we'll have the Rise of the Planet of the Apes podcast episode out with my friend Jerry Gomez. And we're going to talk about the 2011 version of that particular movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It has James Franco in it, a whole bunch of actors that you will all know. And it was the first of the new millennium of the Planet of the Apes series. And one of my favorite movies that they did come out with because the way it was written. So check that out. You could hear also everything else from me from the Pyrocore Music Podcast can be found on the Pyrocore Entertainment Podcast. Eventually we'll have more episodes out in time. I just have to get people scheduled. So we'll work on that. For you to submit your feedback, well, Dimitri, I'll take this. As always, you can check out all the other podcasts on the PyrocoreEntertainment.com website. There will be links for Kaiju Cast eventually. I'm gonna still have to put that in there, unfortunately, but all the other podcasts will be there. Dinner for Her. You'll have What's On Tonight podcast, Adrenaline Cinema, Panels to Pixels podcast, and the Pyrocore Entertainment podcast. So check those out. You'll have links every which way you can to notify us on your thoughts. But for us, for Kaiju Cast Podcast, we can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast player of choice. Ratings and reviews are always available. Please give us a 5-star and please recommend us to other people. Be greatly appreciated. We love you. We love you so much that we like to scream. So to submit your theories and feedback, you can go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/Kaiju Cast Podcast. If you feel the need, you could go to and just email us, kaijukastpodcast@gmail.com. Everything's in the podcast notes, everybody. Just click on the links and just go have fun, go wild. What's on Facebook will be on Instagram. But if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at KaijuCast_podcast. And just follow us. What's on, obviously, on Facebook is going to be on Instagram, but there's always going to be a link, a picture, and guess what? You could put your thoughts and theories down there too. We'll get them just the same. We could be found on YouTube. All you have to do is search for Kaiju Cast Podcast and, ring the bell. Get notified when a new episode is up. It's just the same as the podcast as well. It's just a video, static image, and just us hearing us. Our lovely voices.
Yes.
And then subscribe and then give a thumbs up if you can. And also suggest it to a friend. For Podcastica, you could send a voice message at talk@podcastica.com. If you head to the podcastica.com website, there's a handy voice message link, and just send your messages that way. Jason will send them to me. Right now he's on vacation, but honestly, he'll still send them to me. It's pretty cool. Check us out on I shouldn't say check us out. Check them out on social media. Facebook.com/Podcastica. They can be found on Twitter at Podcastica. Is its Twitter, or X, I should say. And then Instagram at House Podcastica. And while you're there at the podcastica.com website, check out all the other podcasts that are on the network that they have there. We have friends there. Run for Your Lives with Daphne and Paige. House Podcastica, which is a slew of many other podcasts that they host, a variety of different TV and film shows. We have Still Slaying Into the Buffyverse podcast with Penny and various guests. Yellow Jackets WTF. Check it all out. Just go to podcastica.com. And if you're interested, you could go to patreon.com at Jason Kabasi. And you could join in on the fun of Jason's Patreon. And it would be amazing if you do, because you can meet a slew of different friends. That's how I made a lot of friends in podcasting and helped them actually create podcasts in time. A lot of which where this came out from my friend Ben Beck, who got me into podcasting. So if you like what you hear here and haven't listened to any of the Monarch stuff, you could hear it on podcastica.com. But I highly recommend that you check out Wilhelm. Well, I'm going to get this right. Welcome to Wilhelm.com. So that's the Wilhelm podcast, and that's where we started off with collaborative with Podcastica doing Monarch Season 1. So Ben Beck and I were doing that for that, and you could hear a lot of the older podcasts there as well as on Podcastica.com. But Ben has been putting out more content on Wilhelm. The Revisited podcast will be back because there is talks about, wow, oh my goodness, Ted Lasso is coming back eventually. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you have the regular Wilhelm stuff that's out there. I think, Jason recently did a review of Project Hail Mary that just recently came out. If you haven't seen it, it was a Ryan Gosling movie. Check that out. So a little props to Ben out there. So with that, that's all I could recommend, and that's all I could say. So next episode of this particular podcast, we will be covering Monarch Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Requiem. So that comes out April 3rd, and the synopsis.
Shar and Suzuki tests a Titan phone designed to summon Godzilla, triggering an unforeseen event that put Shaw in the past of his own past.
Of his own
Almost
past.
got it. Yeah, the path of his own past. Almost got it.
He almost got it. Well, it's
In
okay.
the past of his own past.
Yeah, the path of his own past. It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss was not here. Anyhow, but they talk about and I'm hoping to see him. All right. With that, I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Dimitri.
Don't get stomped on, everybody. We'll talk to you guys later.